While we could consider the early 6-day reliability, or better known today as the Enduro, the way the French coined it, the earliest off-road motorcycle races to date, starting all the way back in 1905 in Scotland. I wouldn't say those were exactly meant to be pure off-road events though. It was an era where roads just sucked, so everything was an off-road event. The bikes racing those reliability tests were tethered to sidecars, were still half bicycle, and really weren't supposed to survive the ride. It wasn't even really a race, just a test to see if the manufacturer of the bike deserved a gold medal. After digging into the history of racing, I think I found what I consider to be the first off-road racing that was purely off-road, and there wasn't even a thought that it might be somehow on a road whatsoever. And it wasn't what I thought. Now, I love prestigious off-road events, desert racing especially, Baja 1000, Dakar, ISDE, or really anything that's a European enduro. I would also consider motocross and supercross off-road racing. And this isn't any of those. What this is, first racing was a hill climb. Now I know all of us enthusiasts love to watch the maniacs throw on a 40-foot swing arm and strap a Hayabusa motor to a 1995 CR500, but I would never thought that the origins of modern day racing came from that. Digging deep though, I found the Capistrano Hill Climb. The hill climb started way back in 1915 with Myron Warner, a local who won the first race on an Indian. Then, as with all the great racing of the past, it was interrupted by a giant war. So when everyone got back, sick of fighting, ready to live, they showed up at Capistrano Hill, down in Orange County, on what is now just Suburbia Americana. The newspaper wrote that 15,000 super bored people would witness the hill climb. What an event it was, too. To see the old bikes, the riders, the only thing on their heads to protect them was a newsboy cap, and they just rode, balls to the wall, same as the hill climbers now. In 1920, a man called Dudley Perkins conquered the hill on his Harley. At that point, climbing in California was in full swing. He wasn't the first to get up the hill. That went to a rider named Butch Lambert. But when Perkins crossed over the top, the hill had been torn up, a trench just dug in the middle, and it was way harder to ride. And let's be honest, we all know a Lambert who was the first one to do something. By the mid-20s, there would be 50,000 spectators at the hill climbs. Can you imagine a local motocross race having spectators as full as an AMA National? It must have been bananas. The cars just stretched forever. While the 30s were in full swing, with hill climbs firing off all over the West, Capistrano Hill, it died a slow death. With the addition of a new highway, houses began to pop up around the hill, and soon it was just part of a development. It's like if nobody saved Radiator Spring and cars. A quick backtrack to why I chose the Capistrano Hill Climb as my point and where off-road racing started. It was the first race that was consistent and put on a competition with rider and machine as one, not just the manufacturer. 1905 was the first running of the competition unofficially, and that was around the same time Indian was using hill climb exhibitions as a way to develop and sell their bikes. It also matches the same year that the ISDE started. And other companies had been hosting hill climb exhibits before that too, since the mid-1800s. But Capistrano Hill, it wasn't just about the machine, it was about the crazy guy on top of it. And I think it started a whole revolution of riders taking their bikes off the streets into the gnarliest conditions they could, which is exactly what we do today.